It's Tuesday, September 29th, and we are taking off some indrows on a new field, but this is going to be a pretty short-lived project, I think. We're still well over 14 on the monitor, and probably actual is a little more than that. So I'm just going to take off a couple passes here on the indrows. I'm not even going to take the third pass, and hopefully that'll be enough room that we can get the grain cart pulled in over here. And then shut her down and wait for the sun to shine a little bit longer, I think. I came down yesterday afternoon and thought I was going to maybe start some beans, but it was marginal at best. The pods were dry enough to run, but the beans seemed pretty wet and the stems were really tough yet. And the stuff on the ground was pretty wet from the rain also. And sort of just decided to pull the plug and not run anything, and it rained. Just a little shower last night. But things don't seem particularly dry at the moment. It has been partly cloudy, I would call it, most of the day, so drying sun, but not spectacular drying weather. The sun has come out more here the last maybe hour or two, so I think it should be getting better within the next hour or so. I think we'll be able to run fairly hard. Now, I don't know, we are still above reading 15 right now on the monitor. And it's very possible that the beans are actually, or what the moisture tester at the elevator will read is a point or point and a half, maybe even higher than that, since they've been wet and are drying down. So I'm pretty much going to pull the combine far enough this way to get past the drive to be able to pull the grain cart in, and go home and find something else to work on for a little bit. Good news though is that the orbit reel seems to be working so far. I ended up ordering a new plastic track, or half of the plastic track basically. So one inner and one outer. And they were supposed to be here tomorrow, and I got a notification that I had an incoming package and realized that was for my Ames address, and they shipped it to the wrong place. So they shipped it to my billing address, not the shipping address that I put on the order. Supposedly they got it redirected, so it's coming to Southwest Iowa, but unclear if it's going to be here tomorrow or not. Good news though is that I was able to get that stuff all working better, not perfect, but at least I ended up sort of sanding out those bushings on the end yesterday evening or late afternoon, and got it so that it's not putting as much stress on that inner track on the back upper half there. I'm hoping that that'll be enough to keep it from screwing up anything too badly until the new tracks get here, and then hopefully we can get the new tracks. I mean, hopefully the new tracks will allow us to get through this season. I did do some CAD drawing this morning, fumbled my way through Fusion 360 enough to kind of draw some stuff up, but I need to do a little checking and see if I've got those bolt holes in the right place before I send it off to a shop to try to get a quote on having metal ones fabricated. But I think that maybe is going to be the long-term solution. My concern is that with metal tracks, I think there will be much less issue with the rollers flying off. But if there's anything like out of alignment where it's pulling, it's gonna, like, the track isn't gonna flex whatever else is gonna flex or break. So we may need to, make sure that we have those bearings on the end of that, those star arms wobbled out or worn out enough that it'll work with a metal track that's completely solid against those rollers. That's all I got for now. We're gonna shut the combine off and go maybe work on the four-wheeler, see if we can get it put back together. So we left for 4 o'clock and we are back to running. Showing 12.9 at the moment moisture-wise, so we're getting there. Might be actually a little wetter than that, but they're gonna dry off, so, or continue to dry. So hopefully by the time they go through the grain cart, we'll have some drier ones, some wetter ones, they'll mix together. Hopefully we won't get docked too bad. So right now I'm cutting across the field in the middle here. So where I'm cutting is the early season beans, and then these ones over here that are still pretty yellow or green, or a little bit longer season. I believe those are a 3.9 per little patch there. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that they're the longest since they're that green. There's maybe, I don't know, 100, 150, 200 feet of those, and then some with less leaves, but more than these, which would be the 3.6s, I believe. But these seem to be yielding a little bit better than the ones at the home farm there. Combine and nice as far as I can tell so far. I do need to get out and actually look a little bit closer. It's the same variety that I was combining before, so I don't think my settings are probably too far off. The sample looks pretty good, but should get out and double check. It looked like when I ran the indros before, I did check a few spots there. I didn't see any beans on the ground. So I think we're gonna get something done this afternoon. I don't know if I'll have time to get all of these short season ones out before the dew comes on, but maybe. It would be nice if I could. I think it's gonna be a couple days probably before the next varieties are ready, unless there's one farm that I haven't checked for a few days, but if it's matured a lot recently, there's a possibility that they could go, but if I can get these short seasons off, I think we may still switch to corn for a couple days and get a batch running through the drying bin. But we've got a ways to go, and there's a lot of things that could break between now and then, so that will kind of temper our hopes for the time being. Lovely news. I seem to have slugged the cylinder bad enough that I sheared the bolt on the cylinder drive. I didn't think I had anything too chunky go through, but I've been sort of messing with the reel, trying to get it to feed a little more evenly, and maybe should not have been messing with it down here on the bottom of this waterway where there's a bunch of green grass and stuff growing into the soybeans. So I need to get stuff dug out of there a little bit. I hope it's not terrible. It didn't really groan or anything before it popped the bolt. I don't think it just started making noise over there. And I have shear bolts, so that's not an issue, but I need to get the cylinder freed up, or at least enough stuff out of there that when I try to engage the separator the next time, it actually works and doesn't just keep shearing bolts. So I'll see if I can get the camera set up here somewhere. I guess this battery's about to die also, I believe, so we'll see how this goes. So some of this stuff is probably what came up the feeder house between when it popped and when I got the head shut off. It's about 8:45 and we're still running. It's a little bit cloudy. The camera's not going to show that at all. I'm surprised that I haven't had any trouble either with cutting or threshing or pushing with the head yet. We're gonna keep this rolling as long as we can, I think. I would be surprised if I get this field finished, but stranger things have happened. And when I say this field, I mean this variety in this field, because I only have about 35 acres of the short season beans here. The field is 120. But if I get this patch of these 3.0 beans finished, then I probably am out of beans that are ready to thresh for a couple days. It's 9:30 and so far I'm still able to run. After I get unloaded here, I'm probably gonna jump out and see how things are feeling. I don't have a whole lot left, so there's a possibility I might get finished. I'm not gonna hold my breath too much, but maybe. We'll just have to see. Well, it's 10:30 and I'm on my last pass. So I was able to get these 3.0s finished, or God willing, if I can make it to the other end of the field, we'll have them finished at least. So might be around some corn tomorrow. Have to see how things look in the morning and what all needs to be done, but that's my anticipation at this point, is that we maybe run corn for a day, day and a half, and then switch back to beans. Whenever it looks like we'll have some of those mid-season 3.5, 3.6 stuff ready to go.